what was unclear now is clear. Because the world, the universe, and truth are far bigger than the thoughts that you and I have accepted. It's not what you do, it's who you are. This moment right now is the single most important and beautiful moment of our life. Be in this moment, play in this moment, have this moment, live this moment. Want what's happening now. We begin to see that life is not so serious, that we're here to enjoy this experience of life through the tears, through the sadness, and through the fears. Every stream in life, every experience of life is leading me to the ocean of my existence. It's awesome stuff to live.
Oh, Buddha!
We don't need to do anything. There is no place else to be but where we are. Well, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane in this program, and we're going to look at our past and what it means to us and the touch of the past, because we all carry the past within us, at least certain elements of it. And certain elements of the past can be very beautiful, very meaningful. Other elements of the past can be very painful. I've come back to my old high school in Carpinteria, California, and thought maybe I'd spend some time here remembering some of the wounds and some of the things that happened to me while I was here. In fact, in these lockers, well, come here, I'll show you my locker. It's right down here. Don't go away. It's right here. In locker 772 is stuffed a lot of the stuff that's in here. Behind that little cubicle there, I used to put my books and my papers and notes to my friends, etc. You know how that all went in high school. It's funny to look at that now. As I walked up here when I was a kid, I was a totally different person. Who would have thought at the time I was here that I would be here now, talking to you on television? You know, you've heard that saying about those who do not learn from their past are doomed from it. There might be some truth to that. It's not the past and what happened in the past. It's how we hold the past within ourselves and how we don't really tend to heal what it is that's going on within us. Our past, if you will look at it, and everyone has one, is our relationship with our values and what it is that we believe in. And those values and beliefs affect us every single day of our life. Some of them were contained in that locker. The things I was taught, the things I was told to believe in, and the things I chose to believe in. Those things affected me. There are a lot of people in this world who believe in belief. They think that belief is very important and that you should have lots of beliefs and maybe believe in certain ideals and values that are important. But I say if you do that, you're doomed to live out those beliefs and those values, and they have a very devastating effect on our life. That devastation has a lot to do with what happens to us and what doesn't happen to us in our life. I used to drink in this fountain. Water's still bad here. I believe that was good, and it isn't. Walk down the hall with me. I want to show you some things. Let me talk a little bit more about belief. When you go to school and you have friends and you develop some kind of friendship with them, you start to believe things about yourself that maybe aren't necessarily true. Things like maybe you're a good person or a cool person or not so cool person or an ugly person. When I went to school here, it was fighting for your life. This was a tough school. And I came to believe that if you weren't tough, you wouldn't survive. Sometimes that toughness helped me. Sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it made it absolutely impossible for me to meditate or to work on myself or to have any kind of softness about my life. And I've paid for that in my life. It was a belief I had and a concept that I had to live out. The thing that's important for us to understand about our past is how it affects us in the now. And if we are not willing to heal what's going on inside of us, it's going to affect us on and on and on in our life. Let me give you a little example about it in my life, where in my senior year, I had to take agriculture. And I'm going to be honest with you, I took agriculture in high school so I could avoid taking chemistry, which I didn't want to take, which I eventually had to take anyway, because you can't avoid the things you need to face. I had to take that in college. Nevertheless, I started doing agriculture, and I wasn't good with planting or anything like that, and so I raised a little lamb. And Lamb Chops was the name of my lamb, and for 3 years I nurtured and took care of this lamb. It never dawned on me what they were going to do with the lamb. On my senior day in this building, they took my lamb, unbeknownst to me, and cut its head off and hung it, and were going to market it. It happened right around the corner here. I was enraged at this. And the hurt that I felt over this affected me for many years. I ran over to my agriculture teacher and I hit him on my senior day. I regret doing that, but I did what I did. I want to tell you a little bit about this. It was the beginning of real cynicism in my life, and I had to deal with that cynicism for a long time. We all have some kind of thing happen in our life in our past. Because we don't heal it, or because we cling to it and we think that we are a victim to our past, and we hold some kind of nobility to the pain that we have, it hurts us. And for years I had to deal with that. Eventually, I have to tell you the story. About 9 years ago, I came back and apologized, not only to my agriculture teacher, but he apologized to me, and he said, "You know, Greg, if I had known how much this was going to hurt you, I would never have done it." He said it was a thoughtless thing for me to do. We hugged and we became very good friends. But it took me almost 18 years after being done with high school to heal that one. That's how important our past is. I had to look at that, and I've looked at it many times. It was the seed of my cynicism and my distrust for people. And that affected me all the way down along through my life. It's like a snowball effect. One thing leads to another, leads to another. We start to build philosophies and values based on our past that have nothing at all to do with the truth and the reality of our life. And before you know it, we have conjured up ideas and ideals and patterns and schemes and philosophies and religions and systems that have nothing to do with life. And we call these our values and our beliefs, our past. It has a lot to do with what goes on right now in our life. And the sad part about it is it affects us greatly in everything that we do, everything that we feel, and everything that happens to us. And then there were my football days, believe it or not. I learned a lot about myself playing football. It's a part of my past. I learned about working with my other teammates. I used to play flanker in those days. They don't even have that anymore. That's how old I am. It was an end. Used to catch the ball. The whole object, as far as I was concerned in high school about playing football, was I caught the ball, ran out of bounds, then I wouldn't get hit. That was my favorite position. You get all the glory and stuff, but you know, football, like so many other sports, taught me a lot about who I was and where I was at the time. It was a good character builder. But now, you have to drop that. You know, I'm an adult. I don't play football anymore. I like watching it. I get a kick out of it. I like to debate it with my friends, but I'm really not into it anymore. And yet football's a part of the fabric and the weave of my life and what I learned about myself in that. And it isn't that that's bad. You know, some of the things in our past are beautiful memories that really help us in the now because they brought out characters and qualities and insights into ourselves that we wouldn't have known before. But the way we are, so many of us, we forget about how to take that with us in the now. We need to let go of the past and bring ourselves into the moment. If we're in the moment, then our past serves us well. People who really love their life don't have a past. They don't think of it. When you are thinking only about your past and living from that past and longing for it or regretting it or feeling the pain of it or feeling the glory of it, you're not living in the now. And that doesn't mean that we've gotten much from the past. It just simply means we're addicted to it. It's like a drug. It's like alcohol or drugs. It's a way for us to numb out instead of dealing with who we are and what we are now. If our past and our relationship with it is going to serve us well spiritually, it will serve us well in this way. It will bring us into the quality of where we've been. It will help us understand what we are. We won't be looking at it like we'd like to get it back or push it away. We'll be learning from it and understanding that it's bringing about feelings and qualities within us that we didn't know we had, or pain within us that we need to heal. There's nothing wrong with that. When we go astray with our past is when we allow it to build belief and values and ideals about ourselves that simply don't carry any water in the now moment, which maybe take us away from our life. Yeah, I had fun playing football, and some of my friends like to talk about it, but I myself don't really remember too much about it. I enjoyed it. It was over with. There are other things that we have to go on with. We have to go on with our life. We can't be living in yesterday. I think one of the greatest sins that we commit is the sin of living in the yesterday instead of in the now. It takes far more courage to live now than then. This was my place in high school. This is where I'd come and sit with my friends, and we would have lunch and have snacks here and check the babes out all the time. It's interesting if you look at your past a little bit about how it formulated things that hurt you on the inside and kept things going. Have you ever wondered why things continually stay the same in your life? Some people say, well, that's just the way I am, or that's bad luck, or things keep repeating in my life the way they do because I guess it wasn't meant to be. That's not true. It's because of our relationship with the past. We hold to the relationship of the past, and as long as there is the stuff in the past inside of us that remains there, it will always be possible for things to repeat the way they do. And a lot of people don't really understand that. They think that just because they live and breathe and go through the motions of living their life that things are changing, and they're not. I have to actively look and see, what is it that I believe in? And what are the things that I value in my life? What is it that I believe in about myself and value about myself? You would be surprised how much of that is based on stuff as far back and even further back in our childhood. And it is there that we go on living our life from. And because we don't change anything on the interior of ourselves, how can the exterior of our life change? People amuse me. They think that life will change due to time. Have you ever heard the saying, time heals all wounds? Nothing could be further from the truth. Wounds are healed not by time, but by diligence on our part. Working, practicing, forgiving, loving, dealing with pain and fear and the things that we are afraid of. When I came to this school in 1969 is the year I graduated. Make no jokes about that. I sat right here. This was my seat. Little did I know when I sat here, lo, those many years ago, that I'd be sitting here talking to you this way. All the things I went through were based on some of the things that I let go of here and some of the things I held. If I had been wise, I would have learned to let go of more so more could have happened to me. But be it as it may, all those things did bring me some insight. They brought me some experiences and obviously closer to myself. Don't ever regret your past or begrudge it or hold it. Be grateful for the teachings of it because everything is trying to show us the truth of ourselves. I just had to say goodbye to my locker one more time. It's amazing the smell in there, just like it was when I was in high school. You know, that kind of like grungy lunch smell? Yish. Well, I hope you were able to get some insight about what our past is. You know, if we hold to our past and we hold to and cling to what it is that we believe in about our past, we don't always get to the pain of it. And when we don't get to the pain of it, we get used to that pain and we start living with it. In living with that pain, then we start to develop lifestyles that hang around it. We start developing habits like we drink or we smoke. We have difficulty in human relationships. We muddle through our life and we don't even know why we're muddling through because there's so much pain in us and we're so used to that pain that we don't ever consider what our life would be without it. Imagine, there are many things going on inside of you right now that you don't even know about that have to do with unresolved pain in your past. When we get in touch with that a little bit, we start to be able to cry, to mourn, and to heal what's going on within us. And mourning and healing, laughing and crying, are an integral part of living our life. The problem with most of us is we take for granted that because we aren't thinking it, because we're not emotionalizing something, because it isn't there in our face, that it doesn't exist in us, but it does. You know, you can tell when there are some deep, significant changes occurring within your life, when what didn't used to hurt, hurts now. What used to be hidden is now revealed in you. And you start to look at yourself and go, gosh, I'm becoming more vulnerable. And things that I used to be able to ignore, I can't ignore anymore. Before you know it, you think your life is falling apart and getting worse, but it's not. What's really happening is you're getting real and getting down to the nitty-gritty of your life. A lot of people don't want to know and dig up the stuff that's going on within them. And they live lives that are very repetitious, both in pain, in circumstance, and in people. And they never once question what's going on within me. What is it in me that makes this possible in my life? And that's the key. A lot of times, what it is in me that makes all this possible is strictly my past and my rigidity to let it go. You know, just doing this series has been fascinating. Doing this program here at Carpinteria High School in California, where I grew up and went to school. I am feeling some of the things that my mother said to me that I thought I had healed or don't even remember. And it brings back so much to me about why my pain is here and what's going on with me in my life. Doing this Aspire shoot was a healing all unto itself, bringing to me some insight about what I need to continue to work on about my relationship with myself. Remember, our past serves its place in us, but we have to learn to let it go if we're going to be able to move on and continue with our life. Don't be caught in your past. Be caught in the process of letting it go. The last thing I want to share with you on this will be very important. The difference between remorse and regret. Many people regret their past, therefore they cling to it. In that clinging, they are unable to heal themselves because regret means, I don't like what happened, but I'm not sure I wouldn't do it again. And most people have regret for their life, not remorse. Remorse is different. Remorse looks more like this. I feel what happened and what I did, and I could never do that again because it hurts me as well as maybe somebody else. Regret means that I might do it again. I see the damage that was done. I wish it hadn't happened. But knowing me as I do and knowing what I have gone through and what I haven't gone through in the form of my own spiritual process, I might do it again. Most people think they've healed their life through regret and never touch the idea of remorse. Remorse takes an inner compassion. In regret, we beat ourselves up emotionally. We punish ourselves. In remorse, we forgive ourselves. There is no need for punishment. In regret, there's a lot of passion and reason. In remorse, there is a lot of love and forgiveness. If you go into remorse inside your life, you're going to have to go through the process of seeing what has happened and the damage that we've done to ourselves due to our ignorance and indifference upon ourselves. That kind of willingness to see that is a spiritual effort, not a psychological one and not an emotional one, but a spiritual one. And the willingness to touch that essence in us is the very one that opens up the whole door to our life and allows our past to serve its purpose as the part of the tapestry of our learning, as spiritual teachers and experiences that came into our life to help free us, to give us, as they say in India, moksha, the ultimate freedom of love. Don't look at your past and have great regret for it. And if you can't forgive some part of yourself for something, then that's the very thing you need to enter into. Don't be hard-nosed about what it is that you're going through, thinking that you have to hold on to things that need to be released. No one admires anyone who punishes themselves. There's nothing admirable about it. It's time you and I look at our past and let it go so we can live in the now and what's happening in the now. There is no future, there is no past. All we really have to live with, it's what's going on within us now. And this is the most precious moment of all. The touch of this now moment and how we relate to it will change our life forever. So our past really is important to let go of and important to understand. So many of the things that are happening to us now and the things that aren't happening to us now are there because we're holding to our past, because our relationship with it isn't clear. Start to look at some of the things that have gone on in your past, the things that made you cynical or hard or formulated your opinions about love or the way you love, the way you think and what you believe in. Some people are very stubborn about what they believe in and the way they love, and they think their past is, well, set in gold and it should be kept that way. What I'm saying to you is, if you think about your past a lot, if your life is based on the past, if your beliefs are based on the past, you've made a serious error in judgment about your life, because it'll never be able to go on. There'll never be that newness, that freshness, that insight that is necessary for a deeper relationship with life and love. When the stuff in me is no longer there, then my life will start to take a big change. Remember that. When the stuff that we used to cling to that made our life what it is, or made our life possible the way it was, is no longer there, then all sorts of interesting changes start to occur. People always want to try to change their life by rearranging the furniture in their life. Oh, rearrange this person, get this person in, get this person out, get a new job, move over here, don't say this and do that. That's all very trivial. That is living on the periphery of our life. If you're going to live in the core of your life, you've got to start looking at how you hold on to things that are useless. So take a little inventory this week. Play with it a little bit. How much of your life is spent on what you believe in based on the past? How many of the values that you have are based on the past? How much of your life are you trying to recreate from the past? And how much of your life are you trying to run away from because of the past? If you're living any of those things, it's time to go into some process and do some deep inner reflection and work. Thank you for allowing us to share with you the insights and the concepts on the past, and I hope that the touch of my past touched you a little bit. I hope also that I didn't bore you too much with my high school stuff, but I have to admit being here has brought about a lot of memories about my life and my past and what I need to continue working on also. Thank you for allowing me to be with you. Have a great day. Because the world, the universe, and truth are far bigger than the thoughts that you and I have accepted. It's not what you do, it's who you are. This moment right now is the single most important and beautiful moment of our life. Be in this moment, play in this moment, have this moment, live this moment. Want what's happening now. Begin to see that life is not so serious, that we're here to enjoy this experience of life through the tears, through the sadness, and through the fears. Every stream in life, every experience of life is leading me to the ocean of my existence. It's awesome stuff to live.
Oh, Buddha!
We don't need to do anything. There is no place else to be but where we are.
To order a VHS copy of this program, please write to us or call 1-800-ASPIRE-2.